Good morning. Welcome to AT Pro Media. I'm switching my audio. How does that sound? That should sound better, guys. All right. Welcome to ATI Pro Media. I'm overwhelmed by these prices. They're moving lower. We'll talk about that in a little bit. ATI Pro Media, powered by Advanced Trading. We have lots to talk about. Some we're going to do on the live show here. Some we're going to do on premium. Got a new special premium guest coming on today. Maybe even someone new tomorrow. We'll talk about that. Folks are looking for education, and this is why. Let's take it to LaSalle Street, Joe, and go over the prices. All right. D's corn down 9. July soybeans down 9. Nove soybeans, are you sitting down? Down 17. Meal lower, oil lower. Wheat, Board of Trade wheat down 5. KC down 1. Even Minneapolis down 2. Little strength here in the cattle, seeing a little strength in live cattle, a little strength in the feeder cattle. Even hogs are up as these feed grains become so much more affordable. Let's take it to Wall Street now. Gold lower, silver lower. Interest rates pretty quiet day over on the interest rate front. We used to talk about interest rates a lot on the show, but they've kind of moderated. The 10-year has that one cut figured in. We're trading about a 430, 440 yield over there. Natural gas lower as temperatures cool as these fronts go through. Little price action here in Bitcoin. Bitcoin's up 2000. It had a couple bad days, and it's definitely coming back from that. Stock market a little lower. Dow Jones lower. You're seeing a lot of trade here from the Dow Jones in the NASDAQ. Oftentimes you see the Dow Jones down and NASDAQ up and vice versa. A lot of spread trading there. And again, today's one of those days. Dow Jones down 160. NASDAQ up 100. Dr. Copper lower. Connor B, let's go on the show. Let's get headlines. We have a lot to talk about. We got to get out of here, talk premium, call clients. We have lots to talk about. I think you want to start with carbon.
Yeah, that was a big headline. I say happy Tuesday, Tommy. Denmark will be the first to impose a CO2 tax on farmers, right? So if you're a cattle producer in the huge country of Denmark, right, you're going to see a tax. I don't think it starts till 2030, so we're just seeing the headlines, right? But this is all part of the net zero emissions, right? They're going to have a tax starting 2030, and it ramps up all the way into 2034. So Denmark, it's a small country. It's a very, is it fair to say, it's pretty, high taxes, pretty socialist-leaning country. And so I don't know if we'll see this spread to other countries. We saw it in New Zealand, Tommy, and it got shot down immediately. I think if you suggested that in the United States, there might be a civil war, there might be an uproar. But it's interesting to see. And, my first thought, I've seen this term, I mentioned it to you before, is the whole greenflation, right? Everything, there's always going to be a reaction. And where we're implementing these policies, they're not always free, right? That goes in terms of any type of emission controls, anything like that. So interesting to see. I don't like to see it at all, but we'll see what it goes and see if it catches on with other countries or if it's just going to be isolated with just Denmark.
Yeah, I think when we started this show, maybe 6 months ago, farmers rallied in France. I remember that was one of our thumbnails. And farmers do have a lot to say, but they have to raise their voice. So not only is the world farmer now being hit with lower prices, they're being hit with this whole, we'll call it Green New Deal worldwide, where the feel-good folks make the rules and laws. Of course, they haven't been in a farm or a field in a long time, but boy, do they like to eat, right? And they're making choices that are going to affect people's lives. Stay tuned for that one. I see, Joe popped it up, that we sold some corn to Mexico. Mexico bottom shopping down here as prices collapse.
Yeah, 210,000 metric tons sold to Mexico. Good to see. We talk a lot about what's the function of the market. Right now, when I look over at my quote board and see corn down 9, beans down 17, right? This market needs to find some demand. That's the function of the market right now. So good to see these sales. On another not so positive news for domestic is, let's peek down at South America. That safrinha corn crop, Tommy, is rocking and rolling. They are 28% harvested on the safrinha corn crop. I've got this great map from Cesar. And so 28% this week. Last year, they were 11% harvested. Mato Grosso, probably this time next week, they're going to be close to a 50, maybe more, 50% harvested. So when we start looking at our window of opportunity on U.S. corn exports, the faster we see that safrinha corn crop come out of the ground, that window kind of closes. So that's one thing that concerns me. But they're off to a almost triple faster pace than we saw last year for Brazil.
Safe to say the world's not running out of grain looking at today's markets. We've spoke for months and months and months about how when this July time frame hits that so many bushels are supposed to be delivered on that. And maybe the basis was set, that the American farmer set the basis and said, oh, the ethanol plant's bidding this. I'm going to sell them the grain, but I'm going to price it later. Do you feel like that's what's happening, Connor? Do you feel like all those places where people deliver grain are calling farmers and saying, hey, you delivered grain, you haven't priced it yet. We have to move because first notice day in July, I believe, is Friday.
Yeah, you could definitely see that. In my experience, every elevator, every processor, they do it a little bit different. A lot of them might be able to do that free DP all the way out till August 1st or September, right? And so they're doing it that. But on the opposite side, the cash market, if I was a processor elevator, I'd be looking. They need to move grain, especially in Central Illinois. We're seeing some basis pushes. Processor wants it, and so they start needing to having that conversation. If they have a big DP book on, right, are they gonna short DP? Are they gonna go to the farmer, incentivize them to price it or do something like that? So, yeah, good. Not fun conversations, especially if we've got DP grain June 25th and the market core market's down 10. But it's definitely happening, Tommy. We're seeing it.
Let me ask you, is free DP really free?
Absolutely not.
Oh, we'll talk
Absolutely.
about that on premium then. Don't even. You zip your mouth. You zip it. Zip it.
One sentence.
One sentence.
They did not, free DP, it's a tool. They did not offer it because they love farmers. Always remember that. It is not because it's just like, you know what? We want to go help you out. Let's go give them free DP. No, it's a business decision. Never forget that.
Interesting. All right, keep going with the headlines here.
Yeah.
Soybean conditions, corn conditions. Sure,
Yep.
everyone knows they dropped a little, but the market's lower. Yesterday on premium, I talked about, hey, looking at these conditions, we may open up a little higher tonight. But the key is, do we hold? If we have conditions go down 3%, we're lower in the morning, grains have a problem. When I woke up this morning, corn was down 5. It's now down 10. Grains have a serious problem coming in this crop report. There's a risk-off event happening in grains. Not only is Mother Nature large and in charge, but the funds absolutely understand what position the American farmer has on. And I think farmers used to blame the folks at the CBOT. And it's there's a lot of people who study who's long, who's short, and how can we inflict the most pain. And it sounds like right now, it looks like just looking at the market, the most pain is for the long, old crop long, new crop long, 2025 long. Anyone who's long grains here is making less money or losing more money than they had thought.
Yep. And we saw with Juneteenth holiday last week, we didn't see commitment of traders Friday. It came out yesterday, and it didn't tell us anything we didn't know. But the story, Tommy, is looking at the soybean, the fund position in soybeans. So in the past 3 weeks, here's a stat for you. Funds were net sellers of 92,000 soybean contracts in the 3 weeks ended June 18th. That's the most of any 3-week period since 2019. So we are seeing, it's safe to say it was a historic sell-off in the soybean prices. Corn, much the same, not quite as dramatic, but we are still very short. And to add to a short position in June is very uncommon. So if you wanted to be a bull, you're looking at this and saying, we get any bullish news, we're going to see that snap back. But guess what, Tommy? We said that 3 months ago too. We saw it, and how fast did that go away, right? Especially on the corn market. We touched, 496. Soybeans, we got up to 1220s, whatever that was. And the sell-off where they added right back to it was very dramatic. So don't put all your eggs in that basket. But very short for this time of year, looking at fund positioning.
Yeah. Remember all the ATI Pro Media live streams we did? And I kept saying, where would corn be if wheat wasn't here? Where would corn be if wheat wasn't here? Where would corn be if wheat wasn't here? 425 in July is the answer, because wheat has lost 100% of its rally. And where would corn be if wheat wasn't here? 441 in D's corn. That's your answer. So to all the ATI Pro Media lives we did, I don't know, 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago. That's your answer. 425 and 441. And that is what happens when another country in the world has a problem, which they did, Russia, but it wasn't an American problem, it was a Russian problem. So when spring wheat ratings are coming out the best in years and the market's exploding, you have to be a seller, you have to be a protector. We filmed that premium the other day on what's it really mean to be a hedger, right? Are you a hedger? And if you're incredibly uncomfortable right now, you're not hedged, you're not protected, you're not forward sold, you're not using the tools of the market, and you subscribe to some service that's really bullish, and they're out there because I had a client say, hey, you know what? I canceled my subscription to XYZ because they're incredibly bullish. So I understand in the media business, you're supposed to be neutral, like if it comes to politics or this or that. But you shouldn't be in an industry for 30 years and not have an opinion, Connor. Like if someone says, what's your flat price opinion? Call me, I'll tell you. I don't think I should say it every single day on the show because it could confuse people from what you should be actually doing to manage the risk. So with that, you want to go over to charts real quick, Joe? Bring in the charts.
Yeah.
All right, Dees corn. I drew a fresh line this morning. That thing's already changed. You believe that? I just drew this line. We're already below it. 442 here in Dees corn.
Right at 442.
Yeah, that's not promising here. Now, can we look at the camera and say grains are oversold? Absolutely. Yeah, they're oversold. They may be oversold yesterday, oversold today, oversold tomorrow. They'll be oversold till they're not oversold. The question you should be asking is, can corn go limit up on Friday? And the answer is yes. And we'll talk about that. What's a limit move look like in corn here? And I think folks will be very disappointed when they see, oh, we had really bullish news, corn went limit up, and we're trading 465, 470. It won't get it done. That's how much damage has been done here in price action.
Yeah.
What else? Tell me a chart, pull it up, and I'll pull it up.
Let's look at no soybeans.
There
Yep.
they are. I could
Look at
read your
that.
mind.
And so same thing. Yeah, right now we're down 16 cents. So it's not, when you pull up a chart like that, it's not friendly. We got to go back, what, Tommy, a year to see, a year plus maybe to see some.
There's a weekly.
Yeah, there we go. We're back to 2022. We're back 2
Mhm.
years before we see
Mhm.
no soybean prices at these levels. So
Let's go through the wheats. Border trade wheat.
Yep.
Connor B, talk about it. I'm gonna move it to a daily. This is a weekly. Let's go to
Yeah.
that's an hourly. This is a daily. Here we go. When I say it gave it back, was that an exaggeration?
No.
Sometimes I exaggerate. I'm an emotional guy. I'm a human being.
It gave
Did
it
we
back.
give it all
and
the
then
way
some.
back? Say it.
It gave it back and then some.
Oh my.
So
Kansas City wheat.
Kansas City wheat still hold. I mean, you can make the argument it didn't give it all back, but it gave 98% of it back. So same thing.
If your wife leaves you and only takes 90% of your money, you're still broke. Remember that, okay? All right, spring wheat.
I love your analogies, Tommy.
Oh, there you go. Spring wheat.
Spring wheat's the most dramatic, isn't it? Look at that.
It had the best crop ratings. We never had a production problem in Canada, North Dakota, Montana, Minnesota, parts of South Dakota. The crop went in well into moisture. Big potential money could have been earned. And now looking at significant losses as a big wheat crop is going to hit the market in the next 60 days.
Yeah. One thing we should say, Tommy, just looking at this flood, if you're seeing the pictures and videos coming out of Iowa with this flooding, coworker of our JD sent a message about a customer. It says 19 inches of rain in a 3-day span, and almost the entire town of 4,000 is completely underwater. So if you're in that area, my thoughts and prayers. It's talk about. I can't believe the damage I've seen to some of these small towns just completely underwater, Tommy.
Yeah, it's talk about emotion. There's a lot of things going on there. Anyway, we you'd love to say you wish you can help, but we can't. It's Mother Nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's Mother Nature. Let's get into questions. We'll talk about premium and Ashley. How's your new flag? Very good. What'd she say? Free DP is never free.
Yep.
No, folks, you should understand it. Oh, absolutely, Connor. The laundry list is long. Time your premium video on. It's going to need to be 2 parts. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Absolutely, Ashley. And we'd love to have you as a premium subscriber. I guess the best question is, why haven't you subscribed yet, Ashley? But Okay, Luke, I'll
Luke,
answer this one too because I got a good response.
doesn't Canada have a carbon tax on most things?
I don't know what Canada has, but they don't have a Stanley Cup.
Oh, that's a great one. And they haven't won for like 30 years, right?
Yeah, they don't want to win. It'll hurt someone's feelings, and they don't want to upset anyone up there. I tell you what, that was awesome watching the Tennessee kids yesterday in baseball. Tennessee, congrats down there. But to see Florida up 3-0 and Edmonton come back, what a series. It was fun to watch. I was rooting for Edmonton yesterday.
I was rooting for Edmonton too. How much hockey's played in Florida, but
Yeah.
what a game.
But
Yeah. And to come back 3-0, historic. But
yeah, there's they'll be back. They'll be back again. Any more questions, comments from the peanut gallery? If not, we'll talk about premium content real quick. Folks, we yesterday we had I'll pop it up, Joe. We had Mick come on. Mick talked weather. We filmed that early on Monday mornings. We get premium content out to you by about 7:30, 7:45, a little weather update. Tommy Grisafi, then spoke about crop condition ratings. And I said something very specific on premium. I said, looks a little friendly, should open up, watch spring wheat. But if we don't hold, there's trouble. And we did not hold, and there is a little bit of trouble. That's where the markets are right now. They're not closed yet. So if you're interested in premium, we'll have some good videos today. We have a new contributor coming on today, someone who is an absolute expert in the options market, someone who stood in one of those option pits for 25 years. We'll also have another options pit guy on, PJ. I really want folks out there to understand, how does order flow work at 11 o'clock. I don't think we're going to go live on the USDA. I'm going to be traveling, and it's just not healthy for me not to be able to be on my phone. So we'll get a premium out about the USDA report, and then usually someone from corporate, like Brian, Michael, Drew, someone, they usually wrap it up. So we'll definitely keep putting out that premium content while I'm on the road, but I need to be right in front of that screen watching what happens. This is a big report, and we go low enough before this. I could see how people could get bullish before we when this report comes out.
Yep. But keep in mind, last year, we'll pop it up. I saw it floating around the historical price movement because of this, after this report. And last year was limit down, close to limit down if we weren't, limit down corn, limit up soybeans. So I'm going in neutral. It's not a report that I'm going to try and predict, Tommy. We could a lot of estimates on what they thought acreage was going to be last year, and we were about 2-3 million acres outside of any of the analysts' best guesses. So
yeah, I can say this with 100% certainty: the American farmer loves to plant corn.
Amen.
They had a lot of field work done last fall. We had that hot, dry period early in March, April, and it looked like the whole crop was going to get slammed in. It then got delayed by rain, but the intention to plant a lot of corn and the potential was there. Whether it happened or not, then switch it around. What if the corn didn't get planted? Well, maybe that's why note beans are down 16. Note beans getting real close to 11. Folks selling beans off the combine, you're looking at a 10.50 cash price. Joe, there was one more comment. I'll let Connor look at that. Maybe it's just a statement. I like it. Go ahead. You want to read it, Connor?
Has anyone signed up with Continuum Ag to get their carbon intensity credits? Not super familiar with Continuum Ag, so I don't know anyone or what crop that's related to, Nathan. So kind of out of my wheelhouse.
Right. So to Nathan's point, if you're familiar with what he's talking about, drop us a comment on this YouTube channel. We'll gladly learn more about it. And people do specials all the time about carbon, this and that. I am a commodity futures and options broker. I deal in futures and options. There is no motivation for me today to say I am your carbon expert. I don't sell crop insurance. Brady Huck sells crop insurance. So is Tony Dunker. So we got to do what we know how to do well. If you have a book of business and most of your people aren't hedged, you probably shouldn't be moving over to being an expert on carbon credits. So
yep, well said.
We need to get off this channel so we can call our clients and continue to let them know of what's happening there. But again, folks, if you need to get a hold of us, 1-855-737-FARM. Email us at info@ATI Pro Media. I believe Brady Huck will be back tomorrow. Real quick plug to Brady Huck, Tony Dunker. You have a few more days. If you're interested in switching livestock risk protection, give us a call, or you could look up Brady and Tony on the Advanced Trading website. They will gladly educate you on what your choices are. Some very interesting things there happening in the insurance realm. So Tommy Grisafi, Valparaiso, Indiana, Connor Bridgman, Assumption, Illinois. I will start traveling here soon. I'm going to be on the road here towards the end of the week. And then, of course, we have the 4th of July holiday. So I'll be in and out, might be popping up from remote locations. We'll still be here live every day at 9 and producing at least 6 premium videos and sending out those email and text. By the way, to the premium subscribers, it's been great to get to know you. You know, I ask questions, you give answers, and you've helped us out tremendously just by educating us by what's going on in your area. All right, check it out. See you, buddy.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us. We're here every day, 9 a.m. Central. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.